Justin's coming back in. Lewis, first, oh, good. We got one of our new guys coming on. I'm glad you made some progress on your um, brand, on your business. That's excellent. Hero, nice to see you, my man. So, talk to me, Lewis, before we get started. Talk to me about just briefly, like what made you come to that decision.
I had a long it was a long night, and I discovered, I identified one of my weaknesses, but I've always, for years, even when I was younger, I always enjoyed washing cars, me and my buddy, and I have like, it's my little mini therapy session washing the car. And
Mm-hmm.
what made me come to that decision was kind of like, it's something I enjoy doing, nothing super high stakes, and I can learn a little more about like affiliate marketing, and some of my um I can learn how to post, and things of that nature. That's pretty much
Absolutely.
what I do.
Good. Just start throwing shit at the wall and get started. I've done many things like that. Affiliate marketing is a great way to make some extra cash. Aussie Joe is doing it with a brand. Hello, Aussie Joe. Your beard looks a little bigger today. Actually, today I forgot I made a faceless brand, and I'm going to make a training on how to do this. But I made a faceless anonymous brand, a health brand, like 6 months ago, and I paid a guy on Fiverr who lives in Bangladesh to just post for me, and I forgot it was going on. And then I got an email today saying, "Hey, you got, you know, this cash coming in from the affiliate deals that were going on." I was like, "Oh shit, that's amazing," because I had even forgot he was even running. So you can do these things with affiliate marketing and online business, but you just have to know what you're doing. I mean, you have to actually try that stuff out. But I'm in the process of making a training on how to do that that I'll share with all of you guys. So nice to see some of you on here we haven't seen before. Hero, welcome, my brother. Haven't seen you on Zoom yet. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's good to be here finally. I'm doing good.
Good, man. You're looks like you're crushing the accountability, the workouts, you're jumping in, and that's the way to do it. The way to do it is just to jump right in and start running. Just start running downhill.
Yeah, doing my best for sure.
You're gonna make some mistakes, you're gonna stumble, but that's okay. Aussie
Uh,
Joe, I still need to look at your message. How was your vacation? You look like a 90-year-old
Always
man trying
takes
to
me
work an
for
iPad.
always takes me forever to unmute these things. Vacation was good, full on. We had my nieces with us, and their mum wasn't there, so we had 4 kids to look after,
Mm-hmm.
which was pretty tough at times. Um, but overall, it was good. The kids had a ball, which is the main thing. Yeah,
Awesome.
really good.
Good.
Good to get away. Good to get
Excellent.
back into it.
And you came back with a vengeance, and you were meal prepping and doing your workouts. And do you feel good? Do you feel strong and feel good?
Yeah, yeah, feel good. Was a bit tired at the start of the week. I did probably let my head down a bit too much, more than I would have liked, more than I told myself I was going to do. But these things happen, and we don't sit on it. We just move on.
That's right. Very
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't wallow in self-pity, wallow in that shitty identity. We just keep on going. Nice job. So I recorded the podcast today with a guy with Justin McLeod, James McLeod, and he came on one of our calls before, and we have been having tons of resistance to get this podcast out here. We recorded it before, and we had like 4 different tech issues where we had to end up scrapping it. So we spent 2 hours before a month ago recording it. That was before he came onto our call and talked, and there were so many tech issues we had to scrap the podcast and re-record it today. But there were so many great things the first podcast we talked about that I said we have to do this again. That's why I invited him on the call. And then today, on today's podcast recording, when I was recording with him in the middle of the day, he got a call from his wife, and he said, "I'm being pulled up. My wife's being pulled over by the cops right now," and he had to get off the podcast. And then we had to re-record, but I felt like it was the universe telling us that it was trying to give us resistance to stop us from recording this, because the message he was trying to give us and the message we were giving was so good. It was going to help so many people. They were like, no, we're going to see if you're going to quit. And we said, nope, we know this is happening to us. We're going to battle back. We are going to battle this resistance and make sure the podcast happens. So we got it all done. We got it recorded. It took us like 2 hours between all the tech stuff, but we have it done. And I feel like that's the same thing that happens to us whenever we are deciding we are going to make a change in our life. Like I don't know if you're religious or not, but if you pray for strength, if you say, hey, God, I need strength, you're going to get obstacles to overcome. You're not going to get a gift. You're not going to get a gift of strength, an injection. You're going to get an obstacle to overcome. If you say, hey, God, I need wisdom, he's going to give you problems to solve. If you say, I need wealth, he's going to give you financial struggles so that you can learn to be flexible and adapt. The way we can overcome and actually level up isn't by getting anything handed to us and by having someone gift us these things. It's through the pain and the struggle. It's through punishing ourselves. It's through the trauma. It's through the hard part. And if all of us are working on something, all of us are trying to level up our lives in some area, and it's easy to want the comfortable path. It's easy to want the pleasure path, the path of least resistance. But the purpose and the fulfillment and the true lessons come from the pain. They come from the resistance, the struggle, the obstacle. How am I going to learn the skills to be successful in any area if I'm not willing to push through failure and mistakes and be uncomfortable? How am I going to do that? If I'm overweight and I need to lose 50 pounds, how am I going to, a month from now, resist someone handing me a beer or resist cake at a birthday party if I'm not gifted the temptation tomorrow? I won't have the skills to do it. The only way we can get stronger and level up is by pushing ourselves into the shit, is by pushing ourselves into the failure, into the mistakes, into the hard spots of our life. So when that happens, when you get the chaos, when you get stuff happen, I think, Justin, you posted today about, you had to miss your workout in the morning, something was happening at home, and you were flexible and you adapted and you figured out a way to still get it done. Stuff like that can easily knock you out. Being sick, going on vacation, Lewis, the face thing that happened to you, all these little issues could be something that could knock you off course and take you back to the person you were if you don't push through this resistance and continue going. Or we could say, hey, no, actually this chaos, this trauma, these problems are actually a gift to me right now. This struggle that I'm having is actually a gift. If I push through it, then I've just leveled myself up. It's like a video game. If I push through this resistance, if I beat this obstacle, if I beat this boss, then, hey, actually, I'm going to be a stronger person now. Now I've got another tool in my tool bag. If the road is too easy, if we don't have no obstacles, no struggles, no resistance along the way, then we're like a baby. We are incapable of dealing with the struggles that come to us. We need the struggles. Without it, we have no skills. We have nothing to battle against because we are not used to fighting anything. It's like my kids when they do jujitsu. My son and daughter have 3 years of fighting experience now. So if they ever run into a bully at school, if they ever run into something, it's, a mean kid who tries to pick on them, it doesn't matter because they have 3 years of kids kneeling on their bellies, choking them, trying to give them arm bars. They have all these tools in their tool bag to fight back. It actually just happened yesterday. We went to my daughter's friend's birthday party, this place called Urban Air. It's a trampoline park. And there was this crazy kid. All I can describe him as an educator is he was crazy. And we were playing dodgeball. It was me and 10 kids in the trampoline park playing dodgeball, because no other dad, no other mom wanted to do it. And my son and his best friend were begging me to do it. So I said, sure. All the parents are upstairs in the party room talking, eating pizza and drinking whatever. And Nathan was like, Dad, can you please come play dodgeball with us? And I was like, sure. So I went down and it was me and a bunch of little kids just playing dodgeball, and I was whipping dodgeballs at him. I don't even care. And there's this one crazy kid who was getting way too close to everybody. He was like touching my arm. I was like, dude, I said, don't touch me. You need to stay over there. Don't touch anyone here. Like, that's going to cause problems between any other kid. Then he kept on touching the other kids. The other kids were getting pissed at him. And then he was touching Nathan. And Nathan was like, don't touch me. And then he got angry at my son for telling him to stop touching him. I think Nathan said something to him to piss him off. And then he tried to run and tackle my son. And Nathan's pretty damn good at jujitsu. So he tackled Nathan. Nathan did this like judo throw on him. He was in a trampoline park, threw him on his back just without even thinking about it, and pinned him down. And the kid was like, he didn't get hurt, but he was like almost in tears. Nathan didn't think about it at all. He just got him on the ground. I was like, oh, stop. There's probably cameras around here. And to be honest with you, I wanted him to keep going because this kid needed his ass kicked. But I was like, there's probably cameras watching me right now. And they're going to be like, why is there a 36-year-old man watching his son beat the shit out of another kid and 10 kids around? I was like, I need to stop this. So I was like, all right, stop. The kid learned his lesson. And then the kid wandered off. But Nathan was used to the fighting. He was used to the struggle. He's used to all this stuff. So when it came to him, he was equipped. If I never put him into jujitsu, if I never put him into any of these things, if he never struggled like this, he would have been very ill-equipped. When I was his age, if a random kid came and tackled me, I would have flipped out. I might have pissed myself. I don't know what to do when I was 9 years old. But he just, boom, threw him on his back, pinned him. It was just natural for him. Dealing with the obstacle, dealing with the resistance was natural for him. And we can all do that. There's this kid at jiu-jitsu who's 40 pounds. He shouldn't be in the kids class, but he is. His name's Solomon. He's 40 pounds heavier than Nathan. He's 3 years older. He's a wrestler. He's a football player, and he's good at jiu-jitsu. He kicks the shit out of everyone, and he's wild. He will go. I have a rough time with him sometimes, but he's just a big, strong, crazy kid. And Nathan's a little scared of him because sometimes he hurts Nathan a little, not badly, but he roughs him up. And Nathan has a tournament coming up in a month. So a lot of times I'm the kids' jiu-jitsu coach. I'm one of the coaches. So when it's time to roll, we have to partner the kids up. And I always partner Nathan with him first because Nathan's afraid of him. So I said, all right, Nathan, go with him. And he always goes, oh, Dad, do I have to? It's like, yeah, man. Here's the thing. If you can roll with Solomon now, if you get good at rolling with him, you will be able to destroy anyone who's in your weight class. Like if you get used to rolling and fighting with someone who's 40 pounds heavier than you, stronger than you, and you're okay with him sitting on your chest and choking you, putting his knee into your gut, if you can get okay with that, then when it's time for you to do your tournament and roll with kids your age, it's going to be nothing for you. And by talking to him like that and reasoning with him and showing him the benefits of getting the shit kicked out of him, then he's been able to do it. So and Nathan is 80 pounds. This kid's 120 pounds. For me, I'm 180. That's like me going up against a guy who's 260, in way bigger than me. Just knowing that this guy's going to kick the shit out of me, taller than me, heavier than me, stronger than me, and still wanting to fight him and doing it anyway. So not only is Nathan getting better at just the physical skills of jiu-jitsu, but he's getting better at seeing fear and going towards it anyway, which is going to help him for the rest of his life. Like he sees this monster of a kid and Nathan knows he's going to experience physical pain. And now he's willingly going towards this kid and asking him to roll and saying, yes, I want to roll with you, because he sees the long-term benefit. He sees the long-term benefit of it. And for us, if we're saying, okay, I don't want to get up early, I don't want to go to the gym because it's painful, it sucks, and I don't want to do it. Like I would rather sleep in my covers. That quote I posted this morning from Marcus Aurelius, it was, am I the kind of guy who is meant to sleep in my covers and stay with warmth? It was thousands of years ago. I'm reading the book Discipline is Destiny now. And it was by Ryan Holiday. Marcus Aurelius was talking about the struggles of getting up in the morning. The most powerful man in the world. He was saying, was I meant to stay in my bed in the warm covers? Is that what I was made for? And that got his ass out of bed to where he could have a great morning routine. So if you're saying, what is the benefit of having a morning routine? How about a Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius, had a morning routine that made him a savage badass. And, am I meant to do that? The book also talks about famous baseball players, and a lot of our people had non-negotiables that they just stuck to no matter what. So it's painful. You're going to do it anyway, but the benefit is in the long term. You're saying, I'm going to do this for myself because there's a long-term benefit for me. I'm going to suffer right now because I know it's going to pay off eventually. And what that comes down to is, do you think you're worth it? Do you think you are worth the punishment you can put yourself in right now? Are you worth the discipline? Do you love yourself enough, or do you think you're worthy enough? You think you're valuable enough to delay gratification? Because a lot of times when we don't think we're worthy enough, it's because we have a scarcity mindset. And we think, I need to eat this thing right now. I need to drink this thing right now. It's going to make me feel good, because if I don't get it right now, I'm never going to get anything good in my life again. I'm never going to get this stuff again. It's going to be gone. But if we believe in ourselves, if we love ourselves and value ourselves, then we're okay delaying the stuff that makes us feel good right now, because we know it's good for us in the long term. And we want ourselves to be happy in the long term, not just right now. That's why we have to get up early and get all this stuff done. The other day, I think it was like 2 days ago or something, my alarm went off in the morning. Something happened in our house where I couldn't go to the gym, so I had to go to the gym later, and fucked my whole day up. Like, it's amazing how not working out in the morning screws everything up. Like, not getting that workout, not getting that routine done in the morning, I hate it. I hate it when I had to do it, but it just totally I had to go to the gym at like 11. I was waiting for machines. I was trying to do supersets, and I was standing like an asshole waiting for these machines. And, some of the stuff I wanted to get done that day didn't get done. I was like, man, this 2-hour chunk in the middle of my day is so damn inconvenient. Oh man, it would have been so nice if I was done with my workout by 5:15 a.m. like I normally am. And then you have all this time to build your business, to build yourself. And it's like, God damn, it feels so good to have that morning routine done. And whenever you do that over and over again for days and days and days, man, do you feel good. You feel so good whenever you do that. And if you're just starting with this, you know that, well, you might not know, but even if you're like 7 days in, you know that it feels amazing to do these routines. This is one of the things I talked about with James today, because he also has strong morning routines. He's a men's coach, and he helps guys do a similar thing. And we talk about, just, if you're not feeling good about yourself, all you have to do is prove to yourself that you can believe yourself again. You once again have to instill trust within yourself that you can believe yourself. And that's where the confidence and the fulfillment and the peace comes from, is from doing these morning routines over and over again. And they build yourself because they are your identity. And even for me, I have a hard time on vacation, and I don't know if this is a flaw or what, but whenever I don't work out on vacation, whenever I don't have some sort of routine, I'm like, okay, Chris, you need to relax. Don't do anything right now. I always end up feeling like shit. Like, I always end up not feeling good and just being like, okay, I got to do a workout. I got to do something. And in a month, our whole family's going out to the mountains for a little fall getaway for a week. And me and my wife, we've already decided, we're saying, hey, every morning we're going to be working out together, and we just have to do it. We're going to be at a farmhouse out in the mountains. I don't know if we'll have reception or not, but we're going to be doing our workouts every single morning, because that's who we are now. That's our non-negotiables, and we can't tear our identity down. But also because I feel like I'm worthy of that. I'm valuable enough to do that. I deserve to take care of myself. And I made a post the other day about, why do I go to the gym? Why do I work out? And a lot of people are sharing it. A lot of people are connecting with it. It has to talk about the family. I do this for my kids. I do this for a lot of reasons, to family. But I was thinking about it today, and I was like, well, there's more to it than that. There's also more to it than just for the reasons I listed. Like, the reasons I listed are definitely important. There's also more to it. Like, why do we want to reach our physical prime? And part of me was like, well, it's kind of like it's kind of a disservice to the universe. It's kind of a disservice to God and to the gift we were given to our own bodies if we don't reach our potential. Because if I don't reach my potential as a person, I am bastardizing the gift that was given to me. Like I was given this gift of a body that could be great. It could be amazing. It could be inspiring. And if I'm too lazy, or if I don't have it within me to push it to the limit, then I'm just wasting that gift. It's disrespectful. Also, it's me showing that I love myself. Like it's me telling myself I love myself enough to be disciplined and enough to push myself to the limit to become the best me. Like I deserve to be the best me. You deserve to be the best you. If you believe that, if you think that. If you don't think that, then you're not going to want to push yourself to the best. Push yourself to the limit. But you have to believe that you are worth pushing yourself to the limit and worth becoming the best you. You have to believe it, and then you'll want to. But if you think like, I'm good enough, then you believe you're just good enough. Do you believe you deserve more? Do you believe you should be pushing yourself more? Do you believe you deserve to reach the pinnacle, your physical prime? And for the ages all of us are, every year that passes, it gets harder and harder to do that, and requires more and more effort, resources, energy, and the amount of time we have dwindles. So we could either be in our physical prime right now, or we could be really quickly deteriorating for us men. So do you deserve to see yourself at your best? Does your family deserve to see you at your best? And that's also part of why I go to the gym. That's why I'm not satisfied with where I am right now, because I know I have more to give. I have more to become. And that's just more reasons to get ourselves out of the bed, to follow our macros, to push hard at the gym. Even if you get to the gym in the middle of your sets, are you pushing yourself to failure? Whenever you feel like it's your last rep, can you do one more after that? Are you willing to push yourself there so that those muscles can grow and you can reach your best? All those thoughts this morning, guys. That was like a little rant. Sorry. Touched on a lot of different things. So that stirred something up in you. Please share. But I also want to hear from Hero, because he hasn't been on the Zoom call yet. So Hero, if you would share with us, say a couple words about yourself. I know you did an introduction in the group and you've been with us and participating, but we haven't heard from you live. So if you wouldn't mind giving us a little introduction as to who you are, married, kids, age, what you do for a living, why you joined the group, what you hope to accomplish.
Yeah. I'm 39 years old, married for 4 years now. We have a daughter. She's 3. And that's obviously been a huge focus in our world. I remember seeing Chris's post on Instagram, and I would bookmark a lot of them, and I have a little collection of just sort of like things that kind of keep me going, and I found myself doing that a lot and not really doing anything with it. And I don't know, something about a couple of these posts that Chris had up that really resonated with me. It felt like, he was really kind of speaking what I was feeling and going through at the time. And I'm here to completely change who I am and really reach the potential I could get to. I definitely lost myself for a few years now, gained a lot of weight, a lot of negative talk, self-talk, a little negative self-speak, lost the drive, lost the ambition. And, I find myself talking in the past a lot, like, oh, I used to be this, or I was once like that, and giving myself a lot of excuses. Well, I'm a dad now, and I've got other things to focus on. Who cares about the gut? I'm bringing money, and we have a home and all this stuff. And I started telling myself, like, I want it all, and I want to give it, because I want my daughter to be able to look at me and say, that's my dad, rather than have to be told, oh, that's your dad? You know, and I know it sounds very shallow, but at the end of the day, like, I want her to be proud. And I find myself, you know, reflecting back on my childhood and being like, you know, I wish I could have said the same things, you know, and I want to be very well rounded for her, so she feels like she can conquer the world too. And what better way to do it than show her? And, you know, I heard this quote once that, you know, you know, kids won't do what you say, kids will do what you do. And so I can't be, I won't be able to be a man of my word if I can't do them. So you know, I joined up, and, you know, I'm 2 weeks in now, and, you know, I've been realizing that the hard parts I thought were really hard aren't as bad. I've been able to do like almost every workout every day, sometimes 2-3 days, and I'm really enjoying that. But I had a nice little side conversation with Justin just a little bit a while ago, and asked him for some tips on the rise part. You know, a morning person is not someone I've been. And the first week I did 6 5:15 a.m. calls, and this past 8 days I just completely failed. And typically I would dig a hole and crawl in it and just drink and eat myself to fucking hell. But I haven't. So I you know, I have to consider these small victories. And so he's given me some good tips. And, you know, hearing you and talk about, you know, on this call, it just kind of gives me some good perspective on how to look at these early rises. I sometimes some of you boys get up like at 3 o'clock, and I'm just like, this is crazy. So I'm gonna start at the 5:15 mark, and just, you know, I see how much more can be done. And it's amazing how much more my mind is clear in the last 2 weeks.
Awesome.
Like, I have so much more to say, and so it's been a good first 2 weeks. I just I'm happy with some of the results that I've seen, more so like psychologically too. Just like, you know, not really digging too hard into, you know, oh, I fucked up, I missed this. You know, I just kind of like, how can I make it up? Bang, you know, and I just do it up late at night and get a run in or something. So far so good.
Good work. And thank you, Justin, for doing that. Yeah, just take it day by day, accept failures, accept mistakes. All that stuff's going to happen. None of it matters. You coming on the call is what matters. You sharing is what matters. And you showing up is what matters. It's the only thing. As you said, you would have before wallowed in self-pity and a negative identity, but you're not going to do that anymore. And if you have a temptation to do that, you just make a post in a group, say, hey man, this is bothering me. This is getting me down right now. And we'll help you get out of it. Like this is where you are going to rise. This is where you're going to change your life. And we're going to do everything we can to help you. Like the other part of that is you doing your part to make sure that you are tapped in and engaging, because that is the only part that we don't have control over, that I don't have control over, is physically grabbing you and saying, do this. It's you, it's us on this side of the screen, and you showing up. Even if you're showing up in your not best self, even if you're posting macros that you totally fucked up, even if you slept in, even if you posted today, like, hey man, I messed everything up. It doesn't matter. Just being there is what is gonna keep you going. No matter what. No matter what. Just keep on showing up.
Yes, sir.
You got this.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yeah, you bet, man. Anyone else have anything they wanted to talk about before I move on? All right, I want some wins, losses, and action steps. Aussie Joe, can you hear me?
Yep. I'm here.
All right, give me a win, give me a loss, and give me an action step you took towards a goal.
Win. I'll start with my loss. The loss is what I mentioned at the start. Probably. I know that's not what we try to do here, but I did sort of let my head down a bit on the holiday. But the win came straight after. Was being able to just get straight back into it. Yeah, action steps. I was letting my my time blocking down, like I wasn't doing it. But before the holiday, my schedule was just flat out. Like the hours I was doing to make sure I was present on the holiday, pretty intense. And parts of my routine slipped. Overall, I think I did a reasonably good job. Didn't get to see much of my family. Kids were in bed a lot of the time when I got home, and it was just really come home, eat, and go to sleep. Still get up, go to the gym, but the days were so long, and I was on the brink of exhaustion. So time blocking is an action step that I've tried to implement back in, and just getting my schedule and my routine back into place, because it has been sort of a little bit all over the joint, and I've noticed that there's an effect from that. Like you do see the effect in your mindset. You see the effect. You start talking negatively again to yourself, and I've just really tried to get myself back into a place where I was, doing really well. Yeah, that's me.
Awesome, man. Do you do any positive affirmations?
Yeah, on the way to the gym, on the way home.
What are the kind of things you say?
I journal. I journal it every day. One of the things I would say, I'm gonna fucking do it. You're gonna like with my side hustle. I just always tell myself that I'm gonna do it. When I sort of notice myself making excuses in my head and starting to talk negatively in my head, I'll quickly try to flip that around and start just talking out loud and saying the opposite of what I'm thinking.
Good.
As in specifics, I can't really give you any.
Well, what you said works. Yeah. Positive affirmations, for anyone who doesn't do them, it doesn't have to be a 24-hour thing, but I just write a couple down. We've been talking about this a lot. Just write a couple down, and these should be oppositional thoughts to the negative thoughts that you normally have. So if you have some negative thoughts that typically come to your head in patterns in certain situations that bring you down and define your identity negatively before, just create some oppositional statements to that refute that, and say those things a lot. Like if you're a procrastinator and you have that self-sabotaging thought in your head all the time of, man, you're going to put this off. You're such a procrastinator. You're not going to do this. If you have that voice going in the back of your head, you write down the sentence, you never procrastinate. Chris, if anyone in the world procrastinates, it's not going to be you. You get shit done immediately. And just say that to yourself 10 times a day. And guess what? You're not going to procrastinate as much, because that voice that's in your head is a lie. That negative voice that's in your head that tells you those things, that is from other people's opinions that are generalizations that are not true. So you need to be your own best teammate. You need to be the one pumping yourself up. You shouldn't be the one tearing yourself down. So we all have those thoughts in our head that rip us apart, that tear us apart. We don't need anyone else to talk shit on us, because I know we all talk enough shit on ourselves. You need to be like your cheerleader, your motivator, your inspirational. You need to be your own guru, and just brainwash yourself, man. Just keep on pumping yourself up, because there's so many negative voices out there. And a lot of them are in your own head. Nice job, Joseph. CJ.
There's something I want to quickly.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, there's something I want to quickly share. Just want to get some advice from anyone who's got some for me. Something happened a couple of weeks back. I took my kid. I don't know if you remember. I posted it was just me and the kids out for the day, and I took my kids to the park, and we were playing on the swings, and I had my two kids on either side on the swings, and I thought I'd not show off, but entertain them a little bit. And I was jumping onto the swings and hanging upside down and showing off a bit, really. The other dads at the park were just sitting down or walking around, and I wanted to, let my kids see their dad being active,
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter, she really took me back. She's only 4, and she told me to stop. Like, she was getting embarrassed by me carrying on the way I was. Now, I wasn't extreme. I was just playing around, having a laugh. But she got embarrassed, and it really took me back. And I sat her down and I asked her, I said, "Why did you tell Dad to stop?" She goes, "Because I didn't want everyone to look at you, I didn't want you know, something along those lines. And I tried to tell her, you know, you should be happy that you got a dad that can get active and play around with you and all that sort of stuff. And did you see any other dads playing with their kids the way I was with you? And yeah, I just wanted to see if anyone had anything to say about that, like how to handle it, because she's 4. She doesn't even go to school yet, but she was already worrying about what people think in a way, you know.
Is she your oldest?
She's my oldest.
Okay. Yeah, that has now my kids are 9 and 7. I'm such an old man. So yeah, 9 and 7. That happens more and more as they get older, where they start to, and I've embraced it. I have made it a thing where if they even say something like this might embarrass them, I do it 1,000%. And it's kind of like the dad thing you have to do, where if they're like, oh, well, I'm worried about it. You might say this. I'm like, okay, I'm going to. and it's kind of like a funny thing between us. But I've also talked to them about, like, I would slow things down also so that this point can sink in. And you have to know your own kid, but say, well, not in front of a guy who's fat and sitting on a bench, but say, like, yeah, look at the other dads. Would you rather me be doing that or be playing and active right now? And then if you can just slow it down and get a true response from them, then that will help. But also taking the other approach as well, as just they have to just know that you're going to be you, even despite them. And they want that. Like they want to know that they don't have that effect on you. Because if they think in their head that they can control you, they're going to think lesser of you. They're not going to respect you, and they're going to think you're weak. So even if you're worried that they're worried about being embarrassed by you, just get it out of your head. Because like you have to model to your kids how to be authentic, how to be confident, how to be yourself, and how not to worry about what other people think, even if it's your own family. So it
really took me back. It really took me back because she's only 4. That was the main thing. Like, why she's already thinking that way? Is it something we're doing at home? You know, like she hasn't been. I could understand if she was 10, 11, 12. They're already around a lot more other kids and they see other things. But I mean, she goes to kinder. I just don't see how something like that would have even come to her head. Focusing on other people already, being 4.
It happens quick. It's her becoming more self-aware. Like if you look into just child psychology and the way the brain works around that age, they stop being so consumed, where even at an earlier age, they look at their parents like they're gods, like nothing, that you're the entire universe. It's just them and you, and no one else really exists. But as they get older, their universe starts to expand, and they start to become more self-aware, and they can see someone else looking at them, and they're like, oh, there's an actual other person out there who's looking at me and thinking about me. Like the ability for a child to understand that someone else is thinking about them is a huge breach in their capabilities and their brain power. But that does happen around that age. So they're growing, they're becoming more self-aware, smarter. And now they're beginning to understand that there's other people who are thinking things about them. So this is super important time for you, because I also navigate this with my own kids, especially every year they get older, it's more and more of this, because then they become self-conscious. Like the first time my son told me he was concerned about what he was wearing for school, that took me back. I was like, oh my God, he's never said anything like that before. Like he's actually worried about what someone else thinks of what he's wearing. So he wanted to spend a little more time with his clothes because he was afraid of what someone else would think about him. So then it's my job to instill confidence and independence in him so that I can kind of combat that Mr. Nice Guy thing, worried about people pleasing and worried about being concerned about what other people think. But it's going to be natural. Like you're not going to be able to cut that out permanently. It's just a natural part of kids, and your kids are going to be embarrassed by you. It's just going to happen. You just have to. It is shocking when it happens. It's normal. You didn't do anything wrong, It's going to happen. It's going to happen more and more. Embrace it. Use it as a teaching lesson. Use it as an opportunity to show them to be independent, authentic, and to think for themselves.
Thanks,
Wear it
mate.
as a badge of honor.
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah,
happen to all of us.
yeah, Joe. I don't have this one's my oldest or my only one, but I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and I think Chris hit the nail on the head there that yeah, just embrace it. And I actually same thing. If they even mention that I'm embarrassing them, I I go all in and I embarrass them even more. Uh yeah, it's you know, I think I see it as a good thing.
Normal. Nothing to worry about. Like there's so many little words that my kids say that they've seen on YouTube or something that I just intentionally screw up to piss them off. And it's just typical dad behavior. But then they know not to even breach that subject with me. Like if they even say, like they just know that I don't care. They know that I just don't care what they think about if I'm being, they say, like, if I say something weird, but Lauren might say, Dad, that's awkward. And I know she loves saying that now. She just learned what that word means. And like, it doesn't matter anymore. They just know that I don't care. But yeah, that's all these fun times are ahead. And for me, going from like Pablo just posted about his kid leaving as a 25-year-old. I mean, that's wild, very wild to think about. And all those times are ahead for us too. And guys, like for these calls, I usually talk at the beginning and then we do wins, losses, action steps. You can raise your hand at any point and talk about anything you want. Yeah, you can feel free. Anything hit your head, just raise your hand and you can talk about whatever you want. CJ, do you have any wins, losses, and action steps for us?
Yeah, I would say as far as wins, just been doing a lot better when it comes to just thriving in the chaos. Um, as you guys know, we got 3 kids under the age of 5, so I come home and they just run to me like uh animals at times. So just getting better managing that. Like yesterday. Uh-oh. Okay. Been putting the kids to sleep at this call been going on. But anyway, yesterday I went to Sam's Club and Preston, he says, Dad, I have to go to the bathroom. So I'm like in the middle of a transaction. And so I'm trying to figure out why the transaction wasn't going through and their system was messing up. So he said, like, okay, buddy, hold on. And so I'm trying to fix the transaction, find a bathroom at the same time. So 3 seconds later, my man just lets loose in the middle of the store. So I was like, for a split second, I was about to lose it, and I was like, what's the point? Like, it's done. There's nothing you can do but just get a paper towel and wipe it up. So I just took a deep breath, wiped it up, and so I would say that's a big win for me. And just not letting my wife's words get to me. That used to be a huge issue. Or if she just come to me and complain about something, I would sit and reflect on like the things that I am doing to try to make our marriage better. But now it's just like I just, acknowledge what I did wrong and I say, hey, sorry and move on. Instead of trying to defend myself and what I did do in the situation. It comes off as like she's looking at it from a negative perspective. Um, for example, today, like I took initiative to wash the dishes. And so she texted me while I'm at work and she said, hey, I noticed there's grease on the outside of this bowl. And so immediately I'm like, bro, like in my mind, I'm like, I took the initiative to come home and wash the dishes, and you're literally pointing out this little thing that I did wrong. And so for a second, I was like, how about you just be grateful that I washed the dishes? And I was like, nope. Because then I'm gratifying that weak version of me that I used to be, and it's delaying the man that I'm trying to become. So I just let it, roll off the back. I say, hey, forgive me, I'll do better. Because then I'm just continuing to chase who I'm trying to become at the end of the day. So I would say that's a win. Um,
Yeah, let's speak on that for a second. Because if you gave in to that temptation to say something snarky back to her, then you would have been drugged down to the man that you don't want to be. And you would have tossed out one of the principles that you are holding for yourself. Even if it's your wife, even if your wife tries to pull you off your principles, you're still pulled off your principles. You have to be you despite everyone.
yep, 100%. So after I said what I said, I was like, man, that feels good. Because I was just talking to my brother. So my stepbrother married my wife's sister. And so he was, we were talking, and he was like, man, it's a struggle. We just got married, and it just seems like, we're not on the same page. I was like, look, man, I said, someday you're just gonna have to act like you're not married. Because if we let our wives dictate, how we act, how we move, first of all, they're gonna get turned off by that. We gotta be the man that's not moved by anything, even if they giving us attitude, they selling us out. My wife has said some crazy things to me, said I'm the bottom of the bottom, and if we just continue to be who we're trying to be, no matter what, they're gonna notice it eventually, you know. And I've said it before, either they're gonna stay or they're gonna go. And then one thing that we gotta chase the most, instead of chasing our wives, is our purpose. And our purpose is to be the man that God has called us to be for him, for our wives and our family. He was like, well, what if you get to the top, you get the money, you get the dream, and nothing changes? And I was like, I kind of paused for a second, and I was like, well, I mean, it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, it's not me. We have to accept people for who they are at the end of the day. And if that person's going to treat you like crap for the rest of your life, then that's something you just got to deal with. Because it's still making you a stronger person at the end of the day. And God can choose to change somebody's heart, not in our time, but in his time.
Beautiful. And I love that what you said. It doesn't matter. Like basically, the results, all that stuff doesn't matter in the end. It's who you are as a person. Like, and that reminds me of we are not human doings. We are human beings. And someone once said to me, they said, when I was struggling, someone said to me, they said, um, if everyone in your life died, including your wife, including your kids, what would be left of you? Who would you
Wow.
be? Would you have any self-worth? Would you have any self-value? What would your identity be? Is your entire identity father? Is your entire identity husband? Is your identity your job? Is your identity how much money you make? Is it your physical appearance? Who are you as a person? What do you stand for? What are your non-negotiables? What are your principles? What is your soul? Like if everyone died, what would be left of you? And that means like if you have no money, if you're homeless, if you're just standing naked in the forest, who are you as a person? Can you still light the world on fire, or do you just crumble? That's what that reminds me of.
I'm glad you said that, Chris, because what is it, September? It's September. Around this exact time last year, my wife left for 3 weeks with the kids. She said, I'm done. I needed a break. And at that time, I thought our marriage was over. But when she left, it's crazy. Like I had the greatest peace come over me. And I was telling my stepbrother this other day, I said, bro, it goes in line with what you just said. And I told him, I was like, at the end of the day, whether our marriage is work or not, if our wife just up and leave one day, who are you going to be? Is that going to ruin your life? Is that going to change who you are? And I told him, I said, that's something I had to realize. I said, whether this marriage work or not, life has still got to go on for me. I still have to chase greatness every single day. And once I came to that realization, everything changed. That's
Yeah,
when
there's a
I
lot of
started.
go ahead.
I was saying that's when I, made the decision. I was like, I cannot allow myself to get in this pit again,
Hmm.
And then literally, what, months later, I joined the program.
Yeah, we can't let ourselves be pulled down by anything to become a lesser version of ourselves for someone else. You may think my wife is in a bad spot, so I will encourage these maybe negative habits she's doing, or I will feed into this thing. So I'm creating more of a negative situation and I'm becoming a lesser person myself because I feel like it's the nice guy, good thing to do. And I'm devaluing myself when in reality, that's the opposite thing that a person in pain needs. Like if someone's struggling, if someone's in pain, if someone's having a hard time, what they need the most is someone who's strong. They need a rock. They need a lighthouse. They need someone who has non-negotiables, who won't bend for anything. And it's easy to want to do that. Like this person's suffering, let's just give them everything. Let's feed into their every desire. Let's give them candy, alcohol. Let's just make them feel good. I'll go party with them to make them happy. Like, no, they need you. They need a rock. They need a lighthouse. It's an opposite way of thinking, but it's not a popular one. But I think it's what people need. Danny, are you around? Can you hear me? Danny, can you hear my voice? Man pursuing excellence. Danny's been, if you don't following Danny, follow Danny on Instagram. It's Man Pursuing Excellence. He's been posting some great stuff recently. Who did Justin? Give me a win, a loss, and an action step.
Hey guys, win would be birth of our son last week, so that was pretty exciting.
That's a win.
Oh heck yeah! Um, Getting adjusted to that. Boys doing great with it. He's as healthy as can be. Mom as healthy as can be. But definitely brought a little layer of chaos to everybody's schedule. But we're managing and kind of working through that. But awesome experience. I took in a couple weeks off of work, so just soaking that up. I'd say losses. I think for me, I think time blocking, maybe prioritizing a couple things, while trying to identify how to make the best use of my time with the time off. Obviously this is going to be a lot of time spent with just soaking up cuddles with the baby and the boys, but helping my wife with everything. But think a lot of it too is I've got on the back end, in addition to some of the family roles, is on the business side. Still working through liquidating the remainder of the business that I've sold, to eliminate some debt that's kind of causing a little bit of struggle financially, but working through that. And then kind of working through what those priorities are going to be. So I need to really sit down and get those things on paper, so I've got a clear path while I've got this time off to kind of focus on those things. So that's something I've been slacking on that I need to pick back up. Action steps for that, I have taken on some of those roles and responsibilities, of identifying what some of those items are. So one of them was one of our trucks that we purchased for the business. I needed to get a couple things fixed on that. Got that done, just dropped that off the shop for some bigger issues that I didn't want to tackle myself. So I'm still making steps on getting some of that work done, but making progress across the board. This is Jake. This is my middle boy. But you want to say hi? You want to wave at everybody? You want to say hi? Yeah.
What's great about Jake is he's only going to remember his dad ripped.
That's right.
By the time he starts to remember anything, he's only going to remember a ripped dad.
You want to say hi too? Come over here, buddy. You want to come say hi? Yeah. This is Wesley. It's my oldest boy. You saying hi?
Is he 3?
So he's 4. Jake just turned 3, and then our newborn. So we've got our hands full.
The baby.
But one of the big things, and I can't remember if if I brought this up with you guys, but one of the big things that I told Chris when I joined, I said, by the time, you know, our new son is born, I want to be a new person, or at least be that person that I envision myself to be. And man, I feel good. I feel good. I've got this routine down. I've got, you know, my mind right. You know, making sure I'm up early, preparing everything, being present for my family, getting my routine done. I'm in a really good spot to be able to provide in a time that could be a little chaotic, you know, but with the discipline and the routines that we put in place, you know, it's been a huge change. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that real quick, but seeing you guys, everybody in the group kicking butt, some of the new guys coming in, just kicking ass, you know, the first couple of weeks in, going strong, it's really motivating. So just stay the course. It's worth it.
Yeah, you look like a new person. You talk like a new person. Like I remember our first call, and we'll, you know, whenever we will do a long interview at some point. But like I remember the struggle it was getting you in here, and I remember, you know, what your tone of voice and your confidence on the call and what you were telling to me. And man, like it's crazy. Like you are that new person right now. And the more than the physical is your willingness to push through the resistance. There's been many times where you've been sick, where you've been injured, and you were still at the gym at 3 a.m. You were still doing the hard thing. Like, that is more impressive than any 10-pack you will have in the future. You know, it's this person that you are radiating, and now like the fat's just melting off, and then your physical body will represent who you truly are. That's also why we work on, why we want to look good. We want our physical bodies to represent who we truly are. Like, who are you truly are? Are you do you have integrity? Do you have principles? Do you have standards? Do you have non-negotiables? Do you have honor? Do you have respect? Then your body should represent that. Yeah. And you're like, it's just happening for you now. Kicking ass, man.
Yep. I'm one of the weird dads too, Joe. So like I said, we'll wear that like a badge of honor. But that's the thing that I think is crazy. You know, society, the norm is, you know, for those dads that kind of sit on their butts at the bench, you know, and looking at their phone, or like Chris has posted a couple of times, just looking around in the stadium, seeing these dads at their kids' games, and they're got their heads buried in their phones, you know. But I think that's what's cool. You know, we aren't those men. We are the guys that are getting in there, having fun with our kids, spending intentional time. And that's the thing, you know, and even Joe, with the example you brought with your daughter, she's going to remember that. She's going to remember her dad being goofy on the monkey bars and showing off, you know. So I don't know. I just, now that I think we're all in the position we're in, I think it's something that we really notice more often of. I think we're a little bit more hyper aware of what's going on around us. But yeah, I'd say definitely embrace that. Be the weird dad, right? Be the weird guy in the room that's making a difference and showing up for their family.
Yeah, be the ripped guy in the park who's running around like a nutcase.
Yeah.
We did we took our dog for a walk at the end of the night, and he's the crazy Brittany Spaniel. He's a puppy. He has tons of energy, and we played, his name's Rusty. We were playing Rusty tag. He's so fucking fast now. The game is you just have to be able to touch him and you get a point. So it's like first 1 to 3 wins. And we're on this baseball field. Me, my wife, and both kids were just chasing him around the baseball field, and he was running and dodging in between us, and we were diving on the ground. And this baseball team pulled up, and they were just like watching us, like, who are these nutcases? I was just like, I don't care, man. Like, this is an amazing moment. I'm having fun. It was cardio for me, extra cardio. I'm just diving after this puppy dog. And Nathan asked me if I could play with him. So I was like, yep, I'm going to do it. And it was just a good time. Yes, I agree, Justin. Be the weirdo. Well, guys, there's something new I'm going to be starting. It's kind of like a bonus. We got our bonus burns, and this is going to be, and you know what rucking is? Like, you put a backpack on that has weights. There's something I'm adding to the Man on Fire program, which is just called Rise Ruck. So this is going to be something, it's not required, just something you can do. So it's going to be every single day. I'm going to make I don't know if I'm going to make a separate group or what. It's going to be called the Rise Ruck. It's going to be something you can do to level up. It's an extra task you can do that day to level up in either fitness, family, focus, or freedom. Okay, any of those 4 things, it'll be just posted every single day, and you can do that. If you do it, just add that on your accountability. Put R in a check mark. We'll just add that on. So it'll be, so if you're with us for 12 months, it'll be 365 Rise Rucks or whatever, however long you're going to be doing it. So every single day you can do the Rise Ruck if you want. It's an extra bonus burn, but for those 4 categories. I remember I'm posting these on our YouTube playlist, the Rising Father Brotherhood playlist. So this will be on there. Our next Zoom is Saturday morning, 8:30 a.m. EST. If you have any questions about anything, make sure you reach out to me. Please, everyone, update your pictures on the Rising Father app. Okay, so updated pictures, update your weight, and fill out those weekly checklists if you didn't yet, so that I can help you individually. And remember, you can reach out to me at any time. And I love that you guys are reaching out to each other. Hey guys, have an awesome day. Most of us are going to be up in a couple hours at the gym. So nice to see some of you guys who haven't seen, and hopefully we see all of you on Saturday. See ya.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys.